Well, thanks, Eliza. Good morning, everybody. I so appreciate all of you being with us, and it's always wonderful to be with my partner in the Senate, Senator Peters, and we are so grateful to have Kevin Hensley, who's an Air Force veteran and will be introduced further in his leadership capacity. Ryan Graham's as well, a U.S. Army veteran, and the leadership that he's providing. And we want to have an opportunity as we're leading into this Saturday on Veterans Day to really focus on really important changes to improve veterans' health care. We know that Saturday is Veterans Day is a day when we focus on our gratitude to special people who have served in our armed services and their families. We know that when our nation called, these brave Americans stood up. They were willing to be sent anywhere at any time in order to protect our nation, our people, and our values. And we know that some of them never came home. Others came home, but were never quite the same because of what they experienced. And many continued to serve their communities long after their military commitment is fulfilled. These veterans have our back. It's crucial we have theirs. And that's why we're so pleased that the president signed the PACT Act into law last year. This is the largest investment in veterans' health care in our lifetime. And it helps ensure that veterans who were exposed to Agent Orange, burn pits, other toxic substances during their service receive the health care and the benefits that they deserve. So 1 year later, more than 4.8 million veterans have received free screenings for toxic exposures. Here in Michigan, we have nearly 25,000 veterans who've already applied for expanded VA and VA benefits. These veterans served honorably and bravely, as we all know. And just as they were there for us in our time of need as a nation, we've got to be there for them. You know, my dad always said that veterans shouldn't stand at the back of any line, whether it's jobs or housing or education, certainly not healthcare. And that's what the PACT Act is all about.
Okay. Well, it's great to be with all of you. Thank you for tuning into this press conference. It's great to be here with my colleague, Debbie Stabenow, and our work together on making sure this PACT Act became a reality. You know, today we're celebrating veterans, and we'll formally celebrate it on Veterans Day this Saturday. And we certainly have eternal gratitude for the veterans who are willing to put on our nation's uniform and to go into harm's way to protect the freedoms and liberties that we all enjoy. And we want to make sure that we have our veterans back when they come back. And the best way to honor them, as we honor them on Veterans Day, is to know that if they have issues as a result of their service to their country, that they can get the benefits and the help that they certainly have earned and certainly deserve. And that's what this PACT Act is about a condition that we saw, particularly with recent veterans who were exposed to toxic chemicals, oftentimes in burn pits that we saw both in Iraq and Afghanistan. Also saw toxic chemicals being deployed in warfare, as we saw in the Vietnam era with Agent Orange. And yet many of these veterans who were exposed to these toxins could not get the help that they needed. And as a result of that, have been suffering from some very debilitating diseases that has shortened their lives, made their life very difficult. And it's incumbent on us as all Americans to say that is unacceptable. We will do whatever it takes to make sure that they get the benefits and the help that they need. And that's what the PACT Act is about. It's about taking a look at 25 various disorders related to toxic chemicals. These are respiratory disorders, cancers, a long list of illnesses that veterans were suffering from. And it was clear that it was related to their service to their country. And now they'll be able to go to the VA to get the help that they need.
Good morning, everybody. Veterans Day to my brothers and sisters. I would like to thank Senator Stabenow and Senator Peters for the opportunity to be with you today. It's a celebration of life, basically, what the PACT Act means. It's millions of veterans who have screenings and early detection now that they didn't have previously. Conditions that have been recognized when previously denied or plausible deniability was going on, that are now getting the benefits and care that they need throughout the VA, not only just in our state of Michigan, but nationwide. We still have challenges, though, with the PACT Act as far as getting a constrictive bronchiolitis put in as a code for benefits. But the VA is working diligently to be able to figure out how to track that and how to give benefits for that. Myself, what the PACT Act means to my family is they have, if something happens to me, they will receive care and benefits after I pass along. So before that, they were left with nothing. So toxic exposure being recognized, being heard, being acknowledged, and not only just being acknowledged, but also the widows and widowers who we have lost, our veterans are now getting the dependent indemnity compensation. And it's not just about the money. The money's helpful for those families, but it's also about the validation of their husband or their wife's service. After being told that they were making this up and this was all in their head, now it's that validation that they're receiving, that their husband and their wives didn't die in vain, didn't pass away in vain. So with that, I will pass it back over to Senator Stabenow to introduce the next veteran. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kevin. And before introducing Ryan, I just want to emphasize what you said, that this is about families. It's about the veteran, the person who served. It's also about the families. It's also about the widows and those that come after. And, as you were talking about, when people say really, somebody who says just in your head, I remember being back in the state legislature when I first started working on this on Agent Orange. And for our Vietnam vets, and so many were told that, we've come such a long way to finally be acknowledging what our veterans have known and families have known to get people the care that they need. So I'm so glad that we have Ryan Grams with us, who's the supervisor of the Kent County Office of Veteran Services, an office that he himself helped to establish 12 years ago. He's a U.S. Army veteran who is passionate about making sure veterans can access the services they've earned. And we thank you, Ryan, for joining us.
Thank you, Senator. I appreciate that. And I want to piggyback on what Kevin said is with the Gulf War veterans, this PACT Act has opened up so many conditions that we can now do claims for, being all these respiratory problems, big ones being sinusitis and rhinitis that veterans were overlooked at before, and now we're doing so many claims for them, and it's fantastic. And like he said, it's not just the money that matters, it's the health care that every one of these veterans can now get, so they can get these symptoms relieved and maybe get some peace out of this. And I also want to bring up too is there's a lot of this about the Gulf War, but we also opened up for the Vietnam veterans, the Agent Orange presumptives. There's additions to that list. And also a big part of that PACT Act opened up more areas that the Agent Orange presumptives were being recognized as being, like in Guam and Thailand, and not just used in Vietnam. And this opened that up. So those veterans that served not only in Vietnam, but in these other areas, to be able to do claims for their Agent Orange toxic exposures also. And that was also a huge part of this PACT Act that has been able to open up everything. And, as a VSO myself, it's really, really important that we get the message out there that these veterans, if they are suffering from anything, if they're having symptoms, they don't know what's going on, get a hold of your local VSO, talk to them, open up that dialogue, ask those questions, and see if there's something we can do to get you in the VA to get these things looked at for you, for not just yourself, but like Kevin said, for your future, for your family going in and going down the line. It's so important. And this is what we as veterans served, and America wants to take care of our veterans. Let us do that. Give us the chance to do that for you. That's really the goal that we all want. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Ryan. And I think everybody joining us today may think, well, this is a no-brainer. Of course, we would do this. But it's taken decades. The previous administration would not support doing this. And so I want to thank the Biden administration and VA secretary who's working hard on a whole range of things. So it's certainly an awful lot to do. But in addition to the PACT Act, we are really investing in mental health now in a way for our veterans. We know there's a lot more to do, but the good news is that we are doing it now. And it's about time. So I also, before throwing on the questions, just want to mention that veterans can continue to apply. This was not a one-time thing. Veterans who want to apply for the PACT Act related benefits need to just call the Department of Veterans Affairs, or you can go online to file claims at va.gov. So we hope you'll help us get the word out.
Well, I'm sorry that I missed most of the press conference due to a issue here. But I know all three of the folks that did a great job. I just want to reiterate that we believe that there are a lot of veterans that will qualify for these benefits that have not yet applied. We know that 25,000 veterans across Michigan have applied, but we believe there's roughly 175,000 veterans that, if they apply, would likely get these benefits as a result of injuries that they incurred as a result of their service. So please, if you are a veteran suffering from any of these illnesses, please go to the website and apply. And if you know a veteran who is suffering, please let them know that their benefits are available, and do it quickly. The VA is processing these as fast as possible, and we hope that more veterans apply in the coming weeks ahead.